What's good, everybody? It is Thursday, May 4th, 2023. This is your daily sports betting brand of record. We are powered, as always, by the almighty SportsLine, the best value in all sports betting, and it's not close. Yesterday, so much fun, whether it was here on the early edge or if you caught us on CBS Sports HQ, because in addition to the games that we cashed here yesterday, and it was kind of a ho-hum day, another like 7-6, but if you would have watched us there, we cashed the Celtics live, Seattle Mariners live, Seattle Mariners over live. You got to watch us. And tonight, it's AB, it's Sia, it's the Maestro joining me at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Tons of live betting on all the games, and we'll get you set for the Warriors and the Lakers at 9 p.m. Eastern time. With all that being said, we need to laser focus right here, right now, and I have an absolute embarrassment of riches today. Look who I have. You know him. You love him. First and foremost, live from Nashville, Tennessee, the penthouse level. M Squared, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, everybody out there. Fired up for our favorite thing today, day baseball. You know we love it. Let's get to it.
If you're brand new to the brand, our two favorite words are day baseball. Welcome, by the way. Next, he's been here since day freaking one. He is the Maestro, Larry Hartstein. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, everyone. You know, we saw something in sports that we haven't seen in decades last night, and that is St. Louis Cardinals fans booing their own team. I grew up in St. Louis. I went to 46 games one summer, basically lived at the ballpark, and it's just shocking to see how bad this team is with all the expectations. I'm happy for Mikey. I know he gave out the Angels on CBS Sports HQ along with me in an afternoon segment, but just unbelievable how bad that team is playing.
And yesterday in the Pick the Prop segment, we had, three of us picked Mike Trout to go yard. Guess what he did? He went yard. So we cashed that ticket. And they scored 3 in the ninth to cash on the money line. All right, next. You guys have been asking for it. So today, fade or follow on the ice. And she's here. The Ice Queen, Allie. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, guys. Super happy to have a little puppy on my lap because she keeps getting into the trash. So we'll have her here today.
That happens. It happens. You got to watch the trash. Better to what's the name of this one?
This is Luna.
Luna. And we have two other ones that are all white, correct?
Yes. Yeah. This one is a Portuguese water dog. She's my stepmom's dog, though.
A Portuguese water dog? Is that what you said?
Yeah, like the Obamas had.
Oh. I just learned something new today.
Yeah.
Educate, entertain. Thank you, Allie. Educate and entertain. Now, somebody in the chat said, I'm only here for Danny Brasco. I don't care why you're here. I'm just glad that you're here. Mr. Brasco, big week in the octagon. Good morning.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, everyone. First question, how many dogs does Allie have? I'm just counting. I'm not quite sure. Second comment, we all cashed Angels last night. What a game that was. Third comment, UFC 288. What a stacked card. I cannot wait to get into it.
Let's go. And this man yesterday, if you haven't seen his new interview series on his new website, I'm telling you, go and watch it. You're going to learn. He is the counselor of cash, Mr. Sia Nejad. Good morning, sir.
Oh, thank you for mentioning that series. Honestly, if you watched yesterday's episode, you might shed a few tears a couple different times in that one. But I'll tell you, tears of joy yesterday. We had the Rangers first 5, and oh my, did Twitter explode when the Rangers put 5 runs up in the bottom of the 5th. What a game. By the way, they ended up losing that game by 5 runs. They lost 12-7, but they hit the first 5. So happy to ride that first 5 train. We may or may not have a first 5-1 today, but trust me, I've got a nice bet for you.
All right, first 5 Sia or PGA Sia, two of my favorite Sias. By the way, Brian in the chat says, what's up, Early Edge fam? Looking forward to some winning tickets for my birthday. Brian, happy birthday. Welcome. You're spending it with the Early Edge. We're so honored. Thank you. Now, we got to get into it because we got a ton of things on the board today. There are nine day baseball games. There's one very big NBA game at 9 p.m. Eastern time tonight, and also 2 games on the ice. So that's where we are going to start. Fade or follow. Allie, I'm starting with you. Here are the numbers. The Maple Leafs, -180. What an incredible win in the last series they had. Taking on the Panthers, the total at 6.5. Are we fading, Allie, or following the Maple Leafs to cover as a favorite tonight?
I think I'm going to have to fade them here. I mean, look at the Panthers. They won game one, also as huge underdogs there. So I think we're kind of underestimating the Panthers and overestimating the Leafs a little bit. The Leafs, they really just haven't historically done well in those Stanley Cup playoffs. So just looking at that alone kind of doesn't give me a ton of confidence in them. I don't think Florida sweeps the series, but I think when you're kind of betting the teams, you just got to be consistent throughout the whole series. And I think I would go with Florida to take the win here.
All right, so we're fading the heavy favorite. M squared, I'm going to come to you. What do you say?
I like the Leafs in this one. I think they even the series get one here on home ice. I'm not going to pay the minus 180 on it. I do think that if they win this game, it is going to be in regulation. So I would play them on the 60-minute line, bring it down to minus 110, maybe all the way up to minus 120 on a 60-minute line. But I see them, if they win, being a win in regulation on home ice.
I'd agree with that too.
There you go. They agree with that too. That's such a smart way of changing the number, which, as you know, if you watch every day and you play with us every day, 50 cents, that matters. Thank you both very much. We'll get back to the other hockey game in a second. But let's bring in everybody else, because now we've got tonight. And I tell you what, I am so excited for this game. The Lakers and the Warriors. And all of a sudden, we talked about it last night on CBS Sports HQ Primetime. Now, all the odds have flipped. Now the Lakers are the series favorite at minus 150, but tonight they're getting 6. Now it's 6, and the total 227.5. Sia, let's start with you. Are you fading or following the Warriors to even the series and cover the spread?
Well, you know me. I've been on the Lakers since the trade deadline. I was on them against Memphis, and I'm on them in this series as well. And I'm on them to cover this spread, so I'm actually fading the 6 points. I just think it's too much. It's a tough matchup for Golden State. Are they going to win? It's certainly probable that they're going to win, but still, while I know they can pull away, they have the game style at home, especially in a bounce-back spot to pull away. I think the Lakers are too tough, particularly defensively and with the matchups inside. So I think +6 is too much. My lean is with the Lakers.
Every now and then, Maestro, these types of things happen where the sports books just don't catch up with how good a particular team is. Maybe this year it's the Lakers. What say you?
Well, the Lakers were in Memphis and they totally mailed in game 2. This is a similar situation where you steal one on the road. The last 5 times we've seen it in the playoffs, home team loses game 1, higher seed. They've blown out the opponent in game 2 by an average of over 12 points. I think Steve Kerr will make the adjustments. He'll go smaller. When you only have one big out there and 4 shooters, makes it hard for the Lakers with their size. Lakers had the advantage with all the rest. The Warriors were coming in off a 7-game grueling series. They evened it up tonight.
You know, it's funny because the Heat did the same thing, Danny. I don't know if Jimmy Butler could have played, but they knew they had one in the bag and said, let's just try and win without him. So it's always different what a team decides to do. But when you look at this, listening to what Sia and Maestro said, how are you leaning into this game?
Well, I love their breakdowns. And something Sia said on a previous show was he was talking about this matchup as a clash of styles, right? And the Lakers style won out in game 1. They played that bully ball. They used the physicality to get it done. I think so much comes down to the first quarter in this game. If Golden State can get out to that hot start, it's just too much to make up the difference when you're scoring 3 on one end and they're scoring 2. So I'm more looking at the first quarter spread, perhaps -2. 6 feels a little heavy to lay, but I agree with all the points they made. I think they bounced back in game 2 here. The Lakers have done the job. They've stolen home court. So the Warriors will bounce back in a big way. Mike was talking about variance and expecting a lot of variance in this series. This could be that game where the Warriors have a big win and win by a large margin.
And the nice thing is that Maestro C and AB will be on an hour before the game tonight. So any lineup changes, anybody that's not playing, we'll have that information, and we can really break down the game right before it starts at 9 p.m. Eastern time. C, are you excited for that? You excited for tonight?
HQ? I can't wait. I can't wait to be on HQ with you guys. So I think everybody should watch because I think we're going to have some fireworks.
You're damn right we will. Now, back to the second game on the ice. And Allie, I'm coming right back to you. The Kraken and the Stars. And I know you may have a play in this game, so don't reveal that yet. Just kind of educate the people at home as Dallas is a -195 favorite, the total at 5.5. Why is Dallas such a heavy favorite tonight?
You know what? I honestly don't know. I actually kind of like the Kraken here. I think, again, they're just kind of undervaluing these road underdog teams. And as we've seen in the playoffs, I mean, really no one is safe and anything can happen. And I know the Kraken, they did kind of give up that late lead to take it to overtime in the last game, but I don't think they're going to let that happen again. And again, I just think at that price, you got to kind of go with the underdog.
You kind of do. Even on the puck line, it's only -148.
Exactly. Yeah, that's not a bad bet either.
Right? That is, in the playoffs, it's always a one-goal game most of the time, and a lot of them go to overtime. So puck lines can be very, very important. By the way, Rebecca says, Allie equals chill, dog equals no.
Yeah, this dog is crazy. I feel like I'm like a single mother.
It's actually entertaining me. I'm really enjoying it. All right, so we have two fades of the heavy favorite. Mikey, what about you?
Yeah, this one is tough to call. The Seattle team, look, I think that they've kind of overachieved a little bit here. I do not think Dallas should be minus 195 favorite. I make the number closer to minus 160. Having said that, if I had to play it, it would be very similar to the Toronto side. If Dallas wins, I think it's probably a regulation win for them and one where they put up some goals. So, yeah, it would be leans on the Dallas side, but certainly not a game that I'm personally going to be interested in betting.
All right. Both those games are on tonight. By the way, sometimes I question where my career has gone to when I read things like this. Ryan says, dog chewing on your finger and still keeping it professional. Never would have thought I'd read that statement in my career, but alas, I have. All right. I'm going to pound you over the head all day with it because we want you to join us everywhere we are. The Early Edge is taking over every platform at CBS, including tonight right here.
Get breaking news.
Big news coming out of the NFL today.
Highlights and instant reactions.
The largest final round comeback in Ford championship history. We're down to the final four.
I just want to take time to analyze greatness.
Talk winners and losers with a guy who's already a big winner.
CBS Sports HQ. It's all sports all day long.
Sean said, you guys look like you were going to the prom on HQ yesterday. LOL. Well, it's very different because we wear dress, shirts and jackets, and it's very different than what you see this morning with Royals hats and Early Edge hats on, stuff like that. All right. By the way, Big Cheesy said, hey, Sia, you haven't made the cut yet either on the CBS Sports promo. We're working on it, Big Cheesy.
Yeah, I have not.
It's starting to really bother me. Yes.
No, I'm just saying my hand has been up, but I'm getting called on today, so wait and see.
There you go. All right, time for a little more fade or follow, this time on the diamond, and we cashed a big one yesterday when we get to pick the prop. But today we're going to do underdogs. Dog of the day. Pirates plus 150 against the Rays. They got blown out the last 2 days there. Angels at the Cardinals. Big ninth inning last night to cash on the road. And Twins at the White Sox. If you were a SportsLine member, you had the over 7.5, and it cashed in the fourth inning yesterday. So those are our choices. The White Sox have been horrible. I'm just going to say that. So, Danny, why don't we start with you? Which dog are you following today?
So going off the good juju from last night with the comeback win, I'm going to go with the Angels once more as at plus 120. I saw they open around plus 145, down to plus 120, so it looks like some sharp action on them. And I think it's because the line is a little bit off. The pitching matchup is fairly even, but the market might perceive Jack Flaherty of the Cardinals to have the advantage. I don't see that to be the case. Flaherty's expected ERA is a full point higher than it is right now, and he hasn't looked like the Flaherty of old. For the Angels, Griffin Canning has not been a world beater by any means, but one of his primary pitches is a slider, and the Cardinals have struggled against a slider against right-handers. So if that slider is working, I think the Angels have more than a good shot to beat the Cards here. I think they're just the dogs because people don't expect the Cardinals to lose 3 straight at home, but I think it's coming here. So maybe road sweep for the Angels.
It's about branding, bro. It's about the Cardinals brand. That last little nugget is exactly what's going on. Mikey, let's come to you. Which dog are you favoring here?
It's going to be the Angels for me as well. I think Flaherty's definitely overrated here at this point. I think the Cardinals are just simply a mess right now. Not a lot of great energy in that clubhouse, especially when you have the day game after the night game after getting booed. There's one of two ways they can respond. They can respond in an incredible fashion, or they can not come out with much energy at all. And I think that result is going to be determined in the first trip through the order, basically. They've got 3 innings to put something up. Otherwise, that team is going to be in rough shape there. So give me the Angels here.
And you're going to know it, right? You're going to know it right out of the box what kind of energy they have. Sia, talk to me.
This is really interesting. And I just want to say that it's so good that we're doing these segments because I have one play today. I almost had 2 because I was going to take the Angels first 5 plus a half. The only reason I didn't is because Griffin Canning hasn't played a ton this year, and I'm not 100% sure what to expect. I noticed Big Cheesy mentioned something in the chat about taking the over of 9. I kind of like that, but I also like the first 5 over of 4.5. But I'll tell you this, I like the Angels as an underdog, and I certainly have a lean. It was almost a play to the Angels plus a half first 5 innings. By the way, that's minus 120 or minus 125, depending on the book you look at. So yes, I'm on the Angels, and yes, I almost had this as a play.
2 words when it comes to first 5, Sia. Blind tail. That's all I'm going to say. Maestro, talk to me.
Well, the White Sox are waking up, and Giolito's in good form. He shut down the Twins a few starts ago, 6 innings, 1 run. And the Twins, they had the bases loaded, nobody out. They had the 3-4-5 up last night. Correa, Buxton don't get the ball out of the infield. Larnach strikes out. He struck out every time up yesterday. And you know what? They're 3 for 24 this season with the bases loaded. The Twins are hitting 125. You basically average an RBI every time you get an at-bat with the bases loaded. So they should have about 25 RBIs. They have 11 with the bases loaded, by far the worst in baseball.
All right. A lot of great information there. I tell you all the time. And you think I'm kidding. I have my pad of paper and my pen going all the time. And I'm the damn host. Take down the notes. All right. Now, yesterday, we nailed it. Mike Trout, thank you very much, sir. So today we're going to the pitchers. Justin Verlander, he now is wearing a Mets uniform this season. A little weird, but I can get used to it. Kevin Gausman, 5.5. And Jesus Luzardo, 6.5. So 3 different places. So, see, I'm going to start with you. Which one of these pitchers will go over their number today?
Yeah, in certain cases, I don't care if it's a righty or a lefty and how teams are hitting against a righty or lefty. I look at Kevin Gausman and I look at his strikeouts basically this entire year. 13, 11, 5, 11, 7, and 7. In other words, in 5 out of 6 games, he is crushing this strikeout prop. So I'm going to go with Kevin Gausman over 5.5.
Gausman, Blue Jays, they've had some high-scoring games the last few days as well. Danny, talk to me.
Yeah, I'm with Sia on this one. The line is the only thing that's concerning me. I don't know why books haven't adjusted to go a little higher. Like he said, he's crushing this line. But another good under environment. I'll let the weatherman M² take over that one. But good under conditions, and I think it'll be on the back of a lot of strikeouts from Kevin Gausman. So I'm going to tail Sia on that one too. I like Gausman.
By the way, that's the latest game today, 6:10 p.m. Eastern time. Almost everything is day baseball today, which we know is the 2 favorite words for my man M². Talk to me, sir.
Yeah, this one is tough. Look, I think that Gausman is probably the answer. The line is down for a decent reason considering the park he's pitching in and the opponent. But I do still have the number just over 6. I do have a lean on Verlander, except for Verlander. I think that number should be 6.5 on Verlander, not 4.5. If I can find 4.5, I'm definitely playing it on Verlander. But just pointing that out for people out there, I lean to Verlander's over still as well. I think he's going to have a really nice start in this spot, but Gausman has the biggest projected edge here. I would not play Luzardo.
All right, I'm looking up real quick to make sure because we want to be as accurate as we can. My book still doesn't have it up yet, but the chat is also saying 6.5 for Verlander. So as always, you guys are helping out. We're a crew. We're a team for a reason. All right, thank you very much. Now, it's time to get to our board. And this is my favorite part of the day. But you guys know yesterday, if you watched live, and I don't know why I'm getting so much heat for this, I was 3-0 right here on the show with my soccer picks. I've been a next level soccer capper, but yet you want to give buckets. You want to give buckets the credit for those 3 wins? No. They were mine. And as good as I have been, I'm expecting a call, a little ring-a-ding-ding from a brand new network. I don't know. Maybe it's called Galazzo!
Absolutely magisterial here! Artiglieria del campionato brasileiro! Colpisce ancora! Golazo!
I'm sure you'll be seeing me on that work very soon. By the way, Steven, thank you for the question. He says, Coach, you've been killing it with your soccer picks. I know. Do you like Girona team total over 1.5 today? I do not. Girona's really been struggling to score. And if you remember, I just won a showdown 3 days ago with this same team. They scored twice. Sevilla didn't score at all. Both teams have scored. And today, no team total over 1.5. Just an added bonus. Bonus pick right here if you watch live. It's what I do. All right, now, it's a Thursday, which means we may start calling this Team Total Thursday. I don't know. It rhymes. It rolls off the tongue. But, Mikey, you have been killing this particular market. I would love nothing more, sir, than to have a little second inning cash so I can go worry about something else. Can you help me out, sir?
I can. We're headed back to the Angels. Team total over 4, minus 104 over on FanDuel here this morning. Look, I want to pick on Jack Flaherty a little bit. I don't think he's that good. Personally, the numbers definitely indicate that he is not. Throwing the fastball, sitting 93 miles per hour. It's been getting hit. 392 weighted on base average. The actual number very much in line, or the expected number, 392, excuse me. And then the slider. The slider's been getting hit as well, which is a real problem for him. Already given up multiple home runs on that pitch alone so far this year. And then finally, we get some good weather. This is the first time in about, I think, 10 to 12 days where we've actually had a decent hitting environment in Major League Baseball that wasn't at Coors Field. We're talking air density index that is decent for hitting in conditions here. We get a day game in St. Louis, much different ballpark in the day as it is during a night game. So love this spot for the Angels. Over 4 runs, you keep a push condition alive with 4, 5 runs for a win condition. If you can still find the 3.5s out there, I would play a 3.5 up to minus 145. At that point, the tipping point, then you'd want to play it at 4. As far as over 4.5 at plus 115, that is your personal choice. If you want to play it, I definitely prefer 4 at minus 104 to the 4.5s.
And the best advice you've ever given out when it comes to these is, when do we make this bet?
I would make it right away. And quickly, it's I'll take an extra minute because I think it's important. What I mean by that is when I say you're wrong if you don't bet it instantly, this is what I mean. If you're waiting for a line to move, you're basically saying there are tons of other smart people in the world that are moving this market the other way. But guess what? They are all wrong. Every single one of them is wrong. I'm the only one who is right. So I'm going to wait until they all make moves that are wrong. And I think that that's wrong personally. If you are waiting on the market as a whole, which only moves for a specific reason to move your play, I think that, yeah, we'll talk about it more in depth at another time. But yes, you play the play when you have the edge. If you don't have the edge required in the morning, you don't play the game because you're just admitting that you were wrong.
Take the last 90 seconds and rewind it and listen to it again. That's as good as it gets. Rewind it, not right now, but go back and watch it. That's as good as it gets. Be smart. Listen to really smart people. Nobody is smarter than M Squared. Let's go. All right, Mikey, thank you for taking that extra minute. It's important. It really, really is. All right, now, Allie, last night I was kicking myself because I thought about playing the over in the Vegas game just for fun. Late game, had it on TV. And it's 3-2 at the end of the first period. I'm like, why didn't I pull the trigger? But tonight, should I jump in right away on an over in one of these games? Tell me.
Yep. So I think you should take the over 5.5 plus 110 for Stars and Kraken. I think at plus 110, you're definitely getting it for a pretty good deal. But most importantly, I think it's all 4 games between those two teams have gone over this season. So just looking at that alone and then seeing how the goalies have played, I know Philip Grubauer, he gave up 4 goals to the Stars earlier in the regular season, and then he gave up 4 the night before. And then looking at Jake Ottinger, he really hasn't done that well against the Kraken either. He hasn't gotten away with fewer than 2 goals in any of those 4 or 5 starts there. So I think I'm going to have to go with the over here. I just think both teams' offenses are really going to kind of be the focus, and they're going to kind of be neglectful of their defenses. So I think I'm going to have to take the over here.
You're damn right. I'm telling you, and I'm telling you right now, she also moves the books at 5.5 or 6. Big difference. Big difference. If it's 5.5, get it in right now. By the way, Taylor in the chat said, dude should write the sports betting Bible with his knowledge. But we have something similar to that. It's called SportsLine. You can be a member. You can get all of his stuff. All of Sia's, all of Maestro's, Allie, everybody. After that, use the promo code early. Give you 30 days for free if you're not a member. Then it's house money. Let's go. Be a part of it. Deep in. Water's warm. Where do I go next? I've got a great team total. We've got a great hockey play. But there is a little golf tournament, Council, that I'm watching right now. My picks so far are starting off pretty good. But there's an afternoon wave that still has yet to tee off. Could you possibly find me a pick from that, please?
I can, and I'll mention, if you watch the early wedge, you may have a first-round leader sweat, which is a typical thing with some of my first-round leader picks. Gary Woodland, Keith Mitchell, they're both at 2 under, just one behind the leader right now, which is Kevin Streelman. It's super early, but it's just maybe something to keep an eye on because both of those guys were between 60 and 70 to 1 to be your first-round leader. What I like here is a 3-ball. You can find this at pretty much every book, although I didn't see it at FanDuel, so you might have to wait. Maybe they will post it because this doesn't go off until about 1:30 Eastern Standard Time. It's Wyndham Clark in a 3-ball at plus 100 over Davis Thompson and Matthew Naismith. This is one of those classic cases where I just think we have, it's 18 holes, so there's some variance there, but I think we have an elite player or an emerging elite player versus two players that are not in good form. Davis Thompson, you can argue, is a decent course fit. He hits it a long way, but he hasn't been in good form, and he is not the golfer that Wyndham Clark is. Matthew Naismith, same thing. He's not even really a good course fit, and he's playing poorly. Wyndham Clark, on the other hand, he's long off the tee, which you need at the Wells Fargo at Quail Hollow, and he's great on approach. And Davis Thompson and Matthew Naismith have not been great on approach. Add the short game, which Wyndham Clark has, and Davis Thompson and Matthew Naismith, negligible in that department. So I really like this Wyndham Clark plus 100 over Davis Thompson and Matthew Naismith. And I did mention the lean I have with that Angels play. It's not an official play, but if you want to take the Angels first 5 plus a half, I do like that at minus 120 or minus 125. And even though I don't bet overs, I do think a lean is in play with respect to the first half over of 4.5 in that very same game.
All right. Zach says, Coach, you need to bring PGA Sia with you in a couple of weeks when you're back in the booth. PGA Sia on PGA Tour Live? Boy, could dreams come true? Zach, you may have been in a meeting that I was also in recently. There is a possibility. We're working on some stuff, and every time I tell you that, almost every single time, I deliver. Keep that in mind. All right, now, somebody in the chat already said, I'm only here for Danny Brasco. And I got to tell you, the last few cards, you have been absolutely destroying your UFC picks. But in addition to that, I want to give you your flowers today because every time I asked the crew, I said, hey, worry about your brand. Do the brand within the brand. And you, sir, have taken that and run with it on your Twitter almost every single day. A video, educating, teaching, also giving out picks. That's what we're all about. So right here, right now, sir, please entertain and educate about the UFC. Let's go.
Well, thank you, Coach, for that whole bouquet. And that's what we do, educate and entertain. Right into the main event we go. What a UFC 288 card we have. Henry Cejudo taking on Aljamain Sterling for the bantamweight title. And guys, I'm taking Henry Cejudo. He might be the smartest MMA fighter to ever walk into the octagon. He is a fight savant. He can outthink his opponents. And the concern will be that he's had a 3-year layoff. Of course, everyone's wondering what version of Cejudo we'll get. But I am not concerned with ring rust because he has been sharpening his mind even more as one of the best coaches in the game at Fight Ready MMA. Single-handedly, his game planning has carried fighters to huge wins. Davison Figueiredo when he beat Brandon Moreno. Kelvin Gastelum most recently. Coach, you were on that one too. His game planning is next level. And when he puts it on himself, I think he's going to have his way with Aljamain Sterling. His boxing has gotten sharper and sharper. And Aljo was taken down 7 out of 7 times against Petr Yan in their first fight. I think Cejudo will be the first one to take him down. I'm not really seeing a way that Aljo can win 3 out of 5 rounds against him. And I like maybe Cejudo to even stop him late in this fight. So I'm pretty confident in Triple C to become the bantamweight champ once again. Co-main event of the evening. Gilbert Durinho Burns versus Bilal. Remember the name Muhammad. What a great matchup. True number 1 contender fight at welterweight here. And Bilal Muhammad has been absolutely on fire. He's looked better and better as he's moved up this welterweight division. But now he walks in to the boogeyman, who I believe everyone other than the champion and Khamzat Chimaev, and then it's Gilbert Burns. I don't think the stylistic matchup favors Bilal here. It's favored him in a lot of matchups recently. And not to take anything away from him, he looked great against Wonderboy Thompson. He looked fantastic against Luque. And his most recent fight, his boxing was better than ever against Sean Brady. But all of those opponents were fearful, I think, of his takedown. He had an advantage against Brady in the boxing because Brady's a pure wrestler. Now he gets a jiu-jitsu guy that can neutralize his wrestling. And when you neutralize the wrestling of Bilal and that threat, I think his boxing goes down a step too. Burns is in great fight shape too. He just fought Jorge Masvidal. He's coming out of one of my other favorite gyms, Killcliff FC, and I think he's at the peak of his game right now. I'm not seeing, again, a stylistic advantage for Bilal Muhammad here. Minus 120, I think the line is a little short. I feel like Burns should be closer to minus 200, so I'll have to take Gilbert Burns in this matchup as well. An underdog pick for you guys. The dogs have been barking submission wizard, Crone Gracie. You know the name. The Gracie family has perhaps the best. They are the fathers of jiu-jitsu and MMA. And Crone Gracie's carrying that legacy for them. He's also been off for a long time. He's fighting a guy in Charles Jourdain, explosive striker. He'll throw flying attacks. He'll dart in and out of range. And I think that might be his undoing in this fight. He takes too many chances. He gets too reckless. Gracie's not great on the feet, but if Jourdain jumps in and out too recklessly, he's going to get taken down, and it takes one mistake on the ground to get submitted by Crone Gracie. So I'll take him to find that submission at plus 240 for big odds there. And finally, circle this one on your fight schedule right here. Drew Dober taking on Matt Steamroller Frivola. This is a firefight. And in a firefight, you have to take Drew Dober. His chin, I talk about fighters that are made with granite chin, steel chin. His chin is made from metals that are not from this world. Extraterrestrial chin. This guy can take damage. He can get hit by a truck and keep going. And in a fight that I expect to be an absolute barroom brawl, I think Dober is the last one standing. So give me Drew Dober by knockout. There's some UFC 288 picks for you guys.
And if, as Dana White used to say, if you don't know, now you know. That is next level kind of stuff right there. D. Mitchell says Brasco and Ian Parker, simply next level. Oh, interesting. They're both my partners. Ian Parker at the PFL, my man Danny Brasco right here. By the way, what'd you make of Henry Cejudo saying that he would not coach Conor McGregor if given the opportunity, and then talking more about that? Your thoughts on that, Danny?
Yeah, really interesting. I don't know if there's maybe some underlying beef there, because Cejudo hasn't seemed to stray. He wants to coach everybody, and he's improved everybody. It's sort of like he's showing off his mind through other fighters. Perhaps there's some underlying beef that we don't know, because I would have thought that would have been a match made in heaven. So, yeah, I'll look further into that and see if Cejudo has something personal with McGregor.
Interesting. Underlying beef. That's how I kind of feel like me and Buckets are right now, because he's getting very jealous of my soccer picks and taking it out on social media. So, Danny, thank you very much for bringing up underlying beef. All right. Now, we've arrived. It's a long journey sometimes, but we've arrived. And I got to tell you, the video, Maestro, of Stephen Curry when Jordan Poole took that 35-foot three to tie the game is something nobody is talking about. Demonstrative, upset, didn't like that he took it. Now, it will not affect Jordan Poole at all. He has no conscience. So is there a play tonight that you like him for? Oh, no!
You know what, Coach? I was too busy booking my flight to New York because I want to watch UFC 288 with Danny Brasco. You know, there's some people who they know so much, but they're just annoying to be around at a bar. It's just like, stop with the info. Danny's the opposite. He's got all the knowledge, but you want to hang with him. So I'm coming. I hope you got room for me wherever we're going to sweat these fights. And second of all, Jordan Poole took possibly an ill-advised shot. 10 seconds on the clock. But one thing is he got going, and this is a great matchup for him. The Sacramento Kings series, not a good matchup for him. He played under 23 minutes. He earned 30 minutes of ball. They're going to play 4 shooters. That's going to be Poole's time. Over 1.5 threes. He just made 6 of 11. I know it's very juicy, but I'm still playing it. Jordan Poole over 1.5 trays. He is going to be in rhythm this entire series, I believe, like he was in the playoffs last year. Then in baseball, the Mariners, they are under 500, but they are starting to get it going. 3 straight wins. Julio Rodriguez came back, and this is a great pitching matchup. When you have George Kirby, who's been incredible the last several starts, only had really 1 bad start this season, against Rusinski, who pitched in South Korea in the KBO the past 4 years, made 1 start for the A's against the Reds. It wasn't very good. We get the Mariners with the 9 at-bats because they're on the road. I'm going to play them on the run line. It's 138 at FanDuel, 145 at Caesars. Still worth it at anything less than 150.
Oh, I love that play. Lean in to the team that's trending just a little bit. Amazing picks by all 5 of you. So grab your paper. Grab your pencil. Here is the recap, courtesy of the Snake on the 1s and the 2s. And this is a full show. But remember, we will have more best bets on Early Edge and 5 at 4 p.m. Eastern time today. M squared, 1 play. Angels team total over 4. Remember, all these games are day-based. The latest game today is 6:10 p.m. Eastern time. That's the latest game today. Don't get shut out. Then the counselor. 1 play, it's a 3-ball. Wyndham Clark plus 100 over Davis Thompson. Matthew Neesmith, I love it. I can't even believe this is something that we can bet, to be honest with you. That's how much of a mismatch this one is. Then the Maestro, Jordan Poole over 1.5 3-pointers tonight, minus 160. But sometimes the juice, Maestro.
It's worth the squeeze.
You're damn right, and tonight it is. Then Mariners -1.5, -138, 3:37 p.m. Eastern time, first pitch there. Then the Ice Queen, she's on the Kraken and the Stars. Let's just root for goals tonight. How about that? Over 5.5. Plus the spread, the money line. It's way too juicy anyway. Then my man Danny Brasco, bringing the heat with UFC picks. Henry Cejudo, Gilbert Burns, Cron Gracie by submission, and Drew Dober in an absolute banger by knockout -110. I encourage you to follow all of my crew members as they're always being active 24/7. We talk about it internally all the time. We grind for all of you. Why? Very simple. We want to win with you. It's important to us. And the time that you spend with us is also important. So with all that being said, there's only one thing left to do. And I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these Thursday tickets straight to the pay window. For my entire crew, Lobo, M Squared, Counselor, Maestro, Brasco, Ice Queen, Snake, and whoa, always in the ones and the twos. I'm fired up today. Every day's a blessing to get to do this because it's simply what we're about at the early edge. Good luck.